Welcome back to the deep dive. We take those complex, often high-stakes topics, look at the sources, and try to give you the essential playbook. And, when you talk about something like cryptocurrency trading, well, the stakes are definitely high. The learning curve, steep. And frankly, making a mistake there can cost you a lot. So the goal of this deep dive is really to help shortcut that sometimes painful learning process. Okay, let's unpack this then. We got some sources from a listener detailing a specific platform that seems designed to tackle that exact fear factor, the Gocrypto app, specifically their trading simulator. So our mission today is pretty focused. We need to break down what this platform actually offers for learning effectively, look at how its features work to keep you engaged, and maybe most importantly, draw a really clear line between it and the other Gocrypto entity, the payment network.
Yeah, and that separation is absolutely crucial. I mean, in a market as, well, volatile and fast as crypto, having a safe place to practice first, it's essential. The source material we looked at is quite clear about the app's role. It's positioned as an educational tool, right?
Yeah.
Specifically for building skills, testing strategies, all before any real money is on the line.
Right. So let's start there, defining this tool. When we talk about the Gocrypto app, this crypto trading and investment simulator, what's its core purpose for you, the user? It's got to be more than just like a price tracker.
Oh, definitely. It's fundamentally a practice ground, a strategic one. It's built entirely around simulation. The app really emphasizes building skills. It gives you this environment where you can try out, maybe some high-risk strategies, think aggressive short selling or complex options plays, but with absolutely zero risk of actual financial loss. The sources describe it explicitly as an educational simulation, maybe even a game for adults, focused purely on trading mechanics, discipline, that sort of thing.
Yeah, I think that focus on strategy is key. It's not just paper trading in the old sense, like jotting down numbers. This sounds much more interactive, designed to build actual market intuition. So how does the learning structure itself work? How does it guide you through that steep curve we talked about?
Well, the model seems designed to be pretty engaging and progressive, too. It offers interactive learning bits, tasks, challenges, all specifically built to help you grasp the nuances of the crypto market. You could almost think of it like a flight simulator, but for financial skills, maybe. The core goal is definitely to provide a safe training space. For absolute beginners, sure, but also, interestingly, for more experienced traders, people who maybe want to test out high leverage ideas or complex technical strategies before they risk real capital in the live market.
That makes a lot of sense,
Yeah.
that structured approach. If you're going to master something really technical, like, I don't know, spotting complex chart patterns under pressure or figuring out the timing for a leveraged trade,
Yeah.
you need repetition. And you need to make mistakes without, blowing up an account.
Exactly. Consequence-free mistakes are invaluable for learning complex skills.
Okay, so let's pivot a bit. Let's talk about the features that make the simulation feel real and, crucially, keep people engaged. Here's where it gets really interesting. Because, let's face it, if it doesn't feel somewhat real, people just won't take the practice seriously, will they?
No, they won't. And that realism seems baked into the core tech, starting with the data feed. The most critical feature mentioned in the sources is the real-time simulation. You're experiencing live market quotes, 247. This isn't delayed data or just like historical averages playing back. It lets you test strategies, day trading, swing trading, whatever, in a genuinely dynamic environment, one that mirrors the actual global crypto market, which, as we know, never stops. And that live data is so important because it trains you to handle the volatility, the psychological pressure, stuff that looking back at old charts just can't replicate. It forces you to be disciplined in the moment.
Yeah, that immediate feedback from live data, that's huge, especially with crypto being 24/7. But okay, realism is one thing. Keeping learners motivated is another. Our sources talked a lot about gamification,
Yeah,
heavy use of it. So it's clearly about engagement, not just dry learning modules.
definitely. There's a strong focus on keeping users hooked in a positive way.
But hang on, if the rewards are just virtual items or status on a leaderboard, does that really motivate a serious adult trader? Someone who's ultimately focused on real-world profit down the line?
That's a really good question. And I think the answer probably lies more in behavioral psychology. The motivation structure isn't just about the virtual prize itself. It's more about the competitive learning aspect and that immediate feedback loop.
Yeah.
You're incentivized to grow your virtual portfolio, right? And you're competing in these trader competitions, climbing leaderboards.
Ah, okay.
So for experienced traders, maybe that competitive drive replaces the need for immediate financial risk. You're proving your strategy against thousands of others. That status becomes its own kind of reward. And for beginners, that instant gratification, winning something virtual, climbing ranks, it reinforces good trading habits much faster than waiting months for potential real-world gains. It creates this low-stakes, but still competitive environment that pushes you to keep applying strategies.
So the leaderboard isn't just for show, it becomes the immediate proof, like objective evidence that your strategy is actually working better than someone else's, even if the prize is virtual.
Precisely. And that sense of progression gets reinforced even more. The app apparently includes daily and weekly challenges, plus these progressive achievements that reward you for sustained effort or for mastering specific techniques.
And these achievements, they unlock stuff, right? The source mentioned unlocking virtual items, even virtual properties within the game. That sounds like they're building a whole virtual economy inside the practice app.
It really does sound like that. They're creating layers of engagement. It even extends apparently to a unique marketplace feature. The sources mentioned auctions where you can acquire unique virtual items. That's quite clever, actually.
Oh, so?
Well, it simulates things like collectability, supply and demand, scarcity, dynamics that often drive real high-energy markets. It replicates the feel of a high-stakes environment, but still without any real financial risk. It's essentially teaching market mechanics through competitive play.
Okay, this deep dive into the simulator itself is super helpful for understanding the learning angle. But now we absolutely have to tackle that potential confusion. I mean, with the same Gocrypto name floating around and a broader crypto ecosystem existing, clarity here is crucial for you, the listener. So what does this all mean? What's the clear, critical difference between this simulation app and the broader Gocrypto organization?
Yes, this is probably the most important distinction to make. The sources themselves emphasize that potential confusion with the wider Go crypto ecosystem, the one that uses a native utility token called Juicy, really needs to be addressed directly. They're fundamentally two separate things operating under a similar brand name.
Okay.
So let's define them clearly. Number one, Go Crypto. Crypto trading app. Simulator. That's what we've been discussing. It's a standalone educational platform. Practice only. Uses virtual currency only. Focuses purely on trading strategy and learning.
Got it. Simulator equals practice sandbox.
Right.
And number two then is the Gocrypto payment network. This is the other entity, the one operating in the real world.
Exactly. The Go Crypto payment network is a completely different beast. It's a global payment scheme. Its job is to let merchants, physical stores, online shops accept crypto payments instantly. From various crypto wallets that are compatible, of course, this is a real-world financial service aiming to make crypto usable for everyday transactions. And critically, the merchant can choose to receive their settlement in their local fiat currency, like dollars or euros, or in a preferred crypto. It's about utility for the business.
Okay, so that's the real world transaction side. Where does the GCC token fit into that network? Because, people hear token and often immediately think trading
Yeah.
or assume the simulator app is maybe designed to trade that specific token.
And that's precisely the assumption the sources warn against and why the separation is stressed. The GC token is strictly defined. It's a native utility token, specifically within that Gocrypto payment network ecosystem. Its purpose is technical. It helps the network function smoothly.
Utility token. So it's not primarily for speculation.
Correct. Think of the Juicy token maybe like the oil in an engine. It's essential for the payment engine to run efficiently, facilitating the settlement process between the customer, the merchant, and the network itself. But it isn't the car. It just helps the car run. It underlines that the Gocrypto app, the simulator we talked about, is not set up to handle movements of this specific utility token or any real money for that matter. It's not a standard crypto exchange.
Okay, that crystallizes it. That's the core takeaway for our deep dive, really.
Yeah.
The Gocrypto app is this sophisticated gamified learning space. You practice strategies, use virtual money, but with real-time data. It's a classroom for skills. And it's completely separate from the Gocrypto payment network, which is the global system handling actual transactions using its own GQC utility token.
Precisely. The app lets you gain that crucial market feel, understand timing, practice discipline, all those things that are almost impossible to master without doing them repeatedly. But crucially, doing them repeatedly is just too risky with real money when you're starting out or testing something really boundary pushing. The value here is the knowledge, the experience you build, not the virtual leaderboard status.
That wraps up the main point perfectly. The real value of simulation when you're trying to master something complex and high risk. We've defined the tool, looked at the psychology behind its engagement, and critically separated it from the payment network.
And, this brings up a really practical question for you, the listener, to think about now. Knowing this kind of realistic training ground exists, if knowledge is really most valuable when you can actually understand it and apply it, and you now have access to this risk-free environment, what specific, maybe high-risk strategy have you always been hesitant to try? Perhaps something involving complex derivatives or testing how you'd react in extreme volatility, something you just never risk real money on initially. Maybe now's the time to commit to actually trying that out in the simulation first, because that deliberate application of theory, especially high-stakes theory in a safe space, that's where the deep learning really starts.
Go test those boundaries, especially where the cost of failure is effectively zero. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into risk-free market education. We'll see you next time.